a hyperbola centered at HK? We will do so by writing some equation, 4x squared minus 24x minus 25y squared plus 250y minus 489. I'll set this equal to 0. I said hyperbola, but looking at it, you wouldn't know that it's a hyperbola. The one thing that would give it away is minus sign here on the y squared. But we'll see why it's a hyperbola. Our first task is to complete the square in the variable x and in the variable y, and we got to do it step by step. First thing to do is send the constant term packing to the right side of the equation. Second thing is to group the terms and let the x's hang out with each other and let the y's hang out with each other. Okay? Now, I need to complete the square in each variable, and to do so, the coefficient in front of each of these needs to be a 1. So, I complete the square in one variable, then I'll complete the square in the other variable. So to do so, I must divide the whole equation here by a 4, and this whole equation here by a 4. The 4 distributes to each term, so I get an x squared minus a, that goes into 6x plus 4 goes into 25. I don't think it goes evenly. Here we go. Squared plus 250y all over 4. Okay. This equals to 489 divided by 4. Okay. So now we have this coefficient here being 1. And now we can complete the square in the variable x. I get my b, which is 6, divided by 2 and square it. So then I get a negative 3 quantity squared. So then I get a 9. 9 is the piece that I will add to both sides of the equation. Alright? That means this x piece can factor into x minus 3 quantity squared, and we're still left with this plus negative 25 over 4 y squared plus 250y over 4 is equal to 489 over 4 plus a 9. Okay? Now, I must delete because shorten board space here. Alright? I must delete some information. So we'll start working our way up here. Now I will divide both sides here of this equation. I will multiply both sides actually by 4 over 25. And negative 4 over 25 to make this value in front of the y squared to equal a 1. Doing so, I get negative 4 over 25 times x minus 3 quantity squared plus, that becomes a y squared plus negative 4 all over 25 times this 250y all over 4. And this equals negative 4 over 25 times this 489 all over 4 plus this 9. Okay? Now we can complete the square in the variable y. I get b. Wow, that's an interesting b. Maybe we should simplify what that b is real quick. So that's a negative 4 over 25 multiplied times 250 all over 4. Well, 4's cancel, and that was easy. And 250 is really 25 times 10. Divide that by 25, cancel out the 25. I'm just left with a 10. So over here, all of this coefficients here reduces to a 10. So my b is really 10. I divide it by 2 and square it. So that equals 5 squared, which is 25. Okay, and 25 is the piece that I'll add to the left-hand side and to the right-hand side. So then we get negative 4 over 25 times x minus 3 quantity squared plus y squared plus well, it'll be a minus 10. Okay, minus 10y, that's minus sign over here. We forgot to include, so that would be minus 10, but when we square it, it's still positive 5 at the end of the day. But we got to retain that the minus sign is right there. All right, continuing on our merry way, the piece that we add to both sides is 25. So this is going to equal negative 4 all over 25 times 489 all over 4 plus 9 at the end plus 25. Okay, very good. Now this piece of y, it can factor. So I get negative 4 over 25 times x minus 3 quantity squared plus y factors into y minus, or rather, yes, minus 5 quantity squared. That's y minus 5 quantity squared. Foils out to give us this. And this equals this negative 4 over 25 times 489 all over 4 plus a 9 plus this 25 on the outskirt. Okay? Moving the calculation along here. Now, we got to find out what this constant term here is. Notice that here, 489 all over 4 plus a 9. This 9 is over 1, so I multiply top and bottom by 4. So 489 plus 36, because 4 times 9 is 36, all over 4 is what we get inside there. And then, so this thing morphs to a negative 4 all over 25 times 489 plus 36 all over 4 plus a 25 on the end. These 4's cancel, okay? And 489 plus 36. If I give this 1, this becomes 490 plus 35. That means this becomes 525. Yep. Add 10, that's 500. Add 25, 525. Okay, so 525 divided by 25. Okay. So 525 divided by 25 is what we have here with this minus sign still here. So I have a negative 525 divided by 25 plus 25 all over 1. Multiply top and bottom by 25, I get negative 525 plus 25 times 25. That's 5 to the 4th. What is 25 times 25? I'll just do a quick little, I can't do that in my head. I should be able to, but I can't. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. 11, 12. 10. 4, 5. 5. So we get 625 here. So this becomes plus 625 all over 25, which just leaves 100 all over 25, because negative 525 plus 625 reduces to 100 over 25, which reduces to 4. So the right-hand side is a 4. Let's eliminate all this clutter here. So the right-hand side ends up becoming a 4. The left-hand side is a negative 4 over 25 times x minus 3 quantity squared plus a y minus 5 quantity squared. What can we do here? Well, we know that we kind of want the numbers to be in the denominator, okay? So this has a number in the denominator, 25, and this doesn't. And that means I want to multiply both sides by 1 over 4. This cancels here, so I get negative x minus 3 quantity squared all over 25. And then this becomes plus y minus 5 quantity squared all over 4. 4 over 4 is 1. Aha! Aha! Let me just rearrange this so you can see how beautiful and marvelous it looks. This is actually equal to, I'll put the positive value out in front. And I'll put 2 squared. And I'll put minus x minus 3 squared all over 5 squared is equal to 1. Notice that this is the equation of a hyperbola. It is the equation of a hyperbola, okay? And it is a phase-shifted hyperbola. It's a hyperbola that opens about the y and is phase-shifted up 5 units and phase-shifted to the right by 3 units. And as you can see, the previous videos allow us to know how to graph such a function. This was just a quite tedious but fruitful example of how to complete the square in 2 variables to solve a problem.